All right, now that you've explored the data a little bit, let's try creating subsets of it. Now, most of the time you won't want to work with the entire data set because it's fairly large and there's a lot of information there. And so most of the time you kind of want to focus in on your question. And so to do that, you'll have to create subsets. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, let's try subsetting our data sets so that we only have the census blocks in which the total number of jobs is greater than 50. Remember that C000, that's our variable for the total number of jobs in that census block. All right, so the conditional statement that we want to use is df.c000, that's the variable, and we want it to be greater than 50. All right, so let's try running this and see what it gives us. Right, so now we see a bunch of trues and falses. And so what this does is it checks each row of the data frame, and it checks whether the total jobs for that row is greater than 50. So for the 0 index row, it was a false. Therefore, basically it was because the total number of jobs in that row was less than 50. And so it just goes down the line for each one, giving us falses and trues, and does it for each row. Right, so now in order to subset our original data frame, we just need to put that into square brackets. All right, so let me go over here, df, and then open square bracket, close square bracket. All right, so shift enter, and here is the data frame that we get. So basically this is saying, give us the data frame, except just subset it in this way. Only the ones in which the total jobs was greater than 50. Right, so as if you notice here, the total jobs, it's going to be greater than 50 for each of these. And it also preserves the original index. So we know that the index 25 from the original data frame was the one that's first here. All right, so let's actually look at this a little bit. Let me double click this to collapse it down. And then I'll do df dot, let me put this into a new object. Over 50 is equal to df.c000 greater than 50. All right, so no, there's no output. All we're doing is we're basically assigning this into a new name. And so we have our new data frame, which is our subset of data frame in df over 50. All right, so let's look at df over 50, dot shape. And so remember we had around 400,000 if I remember up here. It was around 200,000 rows. Now we only have 47,000 rows. Okay, so you can just use this using these conditional statements to subset your data set. And you can even include more complicated subsets. So let's say, for example, instead of just the census blocks with over 50 jobs, we want between 50 and 100. Okay, so basically we would do something like df over 50 to 100. Let me actually change this just to 50 to 100 equals df. All right, and here in these square brackets, that's where the conditional statement goes. And so we want this same exact one. All right, and then I'm going to put this in parentheses and then put an ampersand. And so that means that first the condition in the first parentheses has to be fulfilled, and then this ampersand and then the second condition has to be filled. So df.c000 less than 100. Okay, so you can use this ampersand, and that'll give us our new data frame. And let's look at the shape of this. Shape. And again, it's even smaller. It's 17,877 rows.